You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too.
Guys, she didn't drink water in this 4.5-hour conversation with Erika Kirk. Let's dissect how freaking crazy that is. She thought they might poison her? Guys, everything just keeps getting crazier, and we're going to break it all down in this episode of the Bread versus Everyone podcast, my daily show, where we take on the craziest ideas from across the internet and social media, all from an independent political perspective. I'm a little under the weather, not going to lie. Visited some dear friends of ours who have little kids, and they may have gotten me sick, so bear with me. My head hurts, may cough a little bit, but I'm still going to bring you the show because what the heck else would I do all day? And besides, the tea is just too piping hot. Heads up, I am now uploading full ad-free episodes early for all channel members. So do consider becoming a channel member on YouTube if you're interested in watching our full 30 to 40-minute shows rather than having to wait for the segments to come out. And if you want to watch without ads as well, channel membership down below. Now, guys, we've got to talk about the latest update with Candace Owens, the podcaster and YouTube star who has spent the last several months spreading viral theories about the death of Charlie Kirk, who was her friend, who she previously worked with at Turning Point USA, and even implicating everyone from the Trump administration and the federal government to Israel, to Egypt, to France, to his friends and colleagues at Turning Point USA, all in some grand conspiracy and cover-up. But she did mostly stay clear of directly criticizing Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, although she definitely implied some stuff a few times about Erika. But she actually just finally got to meet up with Erika and ask her questions. And now Candace has sat down and broadcast a recapping of her 4.5-hour conversation with Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA officials, and some of the takeaways from it and the admissions that Candace made are truly remarkable and, in my view, add to the long lists of reasons that she has proven herself not to be a reliable narrator. We're going to go through a couple of these clips. Without further ado, let's just get into the first one.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And, this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler, and TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
So, in case you're heavily confused by what you just saw, and I would not blame you if you were, what you just listened to if you're with us on audio, Candace opened her show by jokingly claiming that she, had reversed a bunch of her positions, playing music that's supposed to be Jewish and dancing, and that replaced her normal theme music, and making a mockery of some of her fans who thought, the Jews got to her or compromised her because she got this meeting with Erika Kirk, and they were saying she flipped or she got the phone call or what have you. I have to say that this, I do understand that humor and entertainment is a big part of what we do as content creators, and she is very entertaining. I would treat my meeting with my dear friend's widow when I'm making grave allegations of murder and conspiracy and cover-up. I personally would treat that with more seriousness than what we just saw from Candace, but that's just me. Let's see the rest of what she had to say, where she appears to acknowledge that a lot of her fans are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened?
I mean, yeah, these people should calm down and stop leaping to conclusions, but you have cultivated a crazy conspiratorial fan base, and then you're like, oh, how could they leap to conclusions about me? Also, I do just find the fact that she put out a proof of life video on social media after meeting with Erika Kirk so wild. She really did. She posted a video like in her hotel room, just got out, and she tweeted, she's like, yes, I'm alive. Ma'am, did anyone suggest you weren't going to be? Like, what are we doing here? And it actually doubled down on that because she thinks she's like, I don't know, James Bond or something. Listen to this.
Not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erika's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation...
Guys, she didn't drink water in this 4.5-hour conversation with Erika Kirk that presumably happened, at a TPUSA location or at a location set up by Erika, because she thought what? Seriously, let's unpack that for a moment. Let's dissect how freaking crazy that is. She thought they might poison her and kill her? Who does she think these people are? Supervillains? And does she not realize that even if Erika Kirk were some serial murderer, conspiratorial mastermind of a shady, secret shadow government or something, killing Candace, who's asking all these questions at the meeting, would be the most suspicious and obvious. It doesn't even make sense. No one would ever do that. And it's so outlandish. And Candace also has this greatly inflated sense of her own importance. Not to say she's not important. She is. She's vastly influential. Even this live stream she did breaking down her meeting with Erika Kirk, it had 3 million views on YouTube in the first 2 hours. She has a massive audience. When people are like, why are you talking about her? Because whether you like it or not, she's massively influential and millions of people are credulously tuning into all of this. However, she is influential and has reach, but they're not going to try to poison you, babe. They might sue you if you keep it up, but they're not going to try to kill you. It's just deranged. And then not even drinking the own water that you brought is like a new level of paranoia, because what do you think? They use secret Israeli technology to transmit poison through the air particles to get into your water bottle? It's a level of paranoia that's genuinely clinical. And this person is one of the leading sources for information in American media on the right. This is fine. This is totally good and we're not at all cooked. Guys, let me know what you think so far in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe. Now we're going to keep going. There's more gems and pearls of wisdom from Candace's live stream recapping her meeting with Erika Kirk, which shout out to Erika for even taking this meeting. I'm really not sure I would dignify and meet with somebody who had caused so much pain to my family during a difficult time and had made such wild, unsubstantiated accusations against me. Erika, just like when she forgave the killer publicly in an act that I thought typified everything beautiful about Christian values, she does absolutely get some credit for me for doing that. Not to say that there's no legitimate side-eyeing of Erika Kirk. I agree. She presents herself strangely in some of these public interviews. Her makeup, I hate to say this because I don't even want to comment on her appearance because it shouldn't matter, but she is under a microscope. And so whoever's doing her makeup to help make her look so severe at times, I'm not sure is doing her favors, because she's being memed and mocked in really cruel ways as a result of it. But again, I really hesitate to judge anyone for how they're processing grief. And you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. So people are like, oh, she's doing an interview. Why isn't she with her kids? Yeah, that takes an hour. Her kids are probably with her on set, but you actually have no idea. And people are so judgmental of how a widow grieves. I don't want to partake in that, but I also don't want to suggest that she is beyond criticism or anything like that. I don't believe that, especially as it applies to Turning Point USA, where she has taken a leadership role in a massively influential political organization. That's fair game. But Candace went into this, I'm not even sure, looking for answers to her questions, and she got some, but some of her questions don't make sense. So then obviously there's a limit to how much real information you will get. Let's listen to this next clip of Candace after streaming after her meeting.
They have access to UVU cameras. So I was hoping to hear that. And I said that I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, their lawyer who is involved in this case, one of the lawyers that's involved in this case. There's always a team of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not going to, if you say, we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit.
So what Candace is doing here is suggesting that she's not reassured that Tyler Robinson, the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk, is actually the one who killed him, because she thinks he's not. She thinks he's a patsy as part of this setup and conspiracy involving Turning Point, France, Egypt, Israel, the feds, and all of this. And she was surprised, apparently, to learn that Turning Point does not have access to extra evidence that hasn't been made public as part of the prosecution. I think a better question would be, why would they have access to secret evidence that's not included in the indictment of the killer? Of course, the prosecutors put out the information they're going to use in the trial in the indictment. That's what you do in an indictment. Why would they have secret evidence they haven't put in the indictment, or show? If they had a video of him literally doing the shooting, why wouldn't they have put that in the indictment? Why would it only be shown to Erika Kirk? I don't even understand this presumption that victims get access to secret evidence. I'm not an expert in how the criminal justice system works, but that's certainly not my understanding of how it typically operates. And then she acts like just the affidavit. Actually, the indictment has Tyler Robinson confessing in texts to killing Charlie Kirk. It has his DNA on the gun used to kill Charlie Kirk, and it has family members confirming that he had ranted and raved about Charlie Kirk coming to the college and how much he hated him and all this other stuff. And so, and that's not even an exhaustive list. That's just a couple big pieces of evidence. In any normal case, you would consider that like a dead to rights case with lots of evidence. Now, Candace doesn't believe that. She thinks that evidence is faked in conspiracy with like the Utah government, statewide, the local law enforcement, the FBI, all of it faked these text messages, which she erroneously believed were Discord messages, because I don't think she actually read the indictment. But of course, the metadata will all be verified as part of the trial, and a defense attorney will have the opportunity to bring in experts to examine them, and they are almost certainly real. So what you actually have is extensive evidence. And the fact that Erika Kirk doesn't have access to secret, undisclosed evidence, okay. I don't understand why that's meaningful. Now, some people have seized on this final clip I'm going to show you to suggest that this is somehow nefarious, because Candace communicated to the audience that Erika and the Turning Point people she met with were very upset specifically by Candace's blanket condemnation of Turning Point, and she actually suggested that people should demand refunds for their donations. Listen to this, and then I'm going to explain why I actually think this basically makes sense. Let's watch.
They were sort of most upset with obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers, and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning.
So people were acting like this proved Turning Point only cares about the money or anything like that. And that's not how I interpret this at all. We're taking Candace as a reliable narrator here. And let's say that this is what Erika Kirk told us, that, we were so bothered when you said we were a God-forsaken organization. Yeah, it actually makes sense to me why devout Christian religious people would be very offended by that statement. And then when you're telling people to demand in mass their donations to Turning Point be refunded, you are trying to defund and destroy the political organization that was Charlie Kirk's life's work, all as part of your unsubstantiated conspiracy theories about some grand betrayal involving Turning Point USA insiders, at the very least covering up the true murderer of their friend for unknown reasons. And at worst, she's implied into being directly involved or signing off on him being killed, again, for extremely vague and unknown reasons. So I actually think it makes sense that people close to Charlie and people inside Turning Point USA would be deeply offended by you trying to destroy and defund the organization that is his lasting legacy. What part of that is like surprising? Does that mean they just care about the money? No, that's not how I interpret it. But a lot of Candace defenders seized on this clip as if it showed what they're really about, or Erika showing her true colors. To me, it's actually just totally natural that you would be offended and outraged by that statement in particular, even though I'm sure they're bothered by a lot of what Candace has said. All in all, we don't know what happened in the meeting between Candace and Erika. I'm glad that it happened, sort of. I think ultimately we're going to be headed for a defamation case because this is not going to stop. It's very clear because at the beginning of this whole ordeal, Candace said, I won't stop unless Erika Kirk asks me to stop. Then a couple of weeks ago, or just about a week ago, Erika Kirk literally said to Candace Owens, please stop. And Candace was like, well, I'm not going to stop. So I think now Candace has probably, as a course of this meeting, been put on notice, presented with evidence that some of the things she's saying about Turning Point and about all of this are false. And so if she continues to perpetrate them, that will strengthen their legal case against her, that she's acting with actual malice in terms of not just being wrong, but acting with reckless disregard for the truth. So that may be low-key the real reason for this meeting, but that's just my speculation. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about all of this. Definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and all of that.